She watch
on my Instagram, all on my Twitter page.
Retweet. Duck face on me.
She on her timeline.
She lurk.
On her Instagram,
Taking pics.
all on her Twitter
Them pretty
page.
lips. Duck face on me.
She on my timeline,
She
my
watch.
timeline, my Instagram, my Twitter page, my Twitter page.
Duck face on me.
Her timeline, her Instagram, her Twitter page,
Duck face on me.
on my timeline, my Instagram, my Twitter page.
Duck face on me.
Her timeline.
Whoa, nah. What's going on with you, Lena? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
We are great over here, man. So we here with another episode of Man versus Woman. I'm one of your hosts, the boy Suave.
And I'm your girl, Lena Love.
And check out Twitter right there. They at the bottom of the screen. Follow us, man. Check us out. Lena, today's episode is going to be a very important one to both of us, man. We are talking about women appreciation. We appreciate the women in this world. And as you know, this month is Women History Month. You know, I hope you guys out there enjoy this episode right here. We got a few guests that we're going to bring on. And I want everyone to think about that person, those women in your lives, man, that really means a lot to you. And whenever you see those people, man, you give them a big hug and a shout out. And just keep on sharing the love to them. I appreciate them because they mean a lot to you, especially your mom. You know what I'm saying? Especially your mom, because she brought you in this world. You know what I'm saying? She birthed you, you know. She carried you so many different months and gave you life. You know what I'm saying? My sister, she had her son, you know, prematurely, and he was bound for his life, and he made it. You know what I'm saying? So I commend my sister, man. Shout out to my sister out there, man. Shout out to my mom. Lena, you want to shout anybody out before we bring them up here, bring our guests on?
My mom, my sisters, my grandmas, just every woman that's been important to me in my life. Yeah, I shout all you guys out. So.
For sure, man. And definitely all the women in my life, man. All the way down to my daughters, man. So shout out to them. We're going to bring our first guest on, man. She is very popular, came from nowhere, and all of a sudden just, you know, blew up on a YouTube, man, doing good. A wonderful person. She has been on our show plenty of times before. You know, I love her like a sister. She is a good person. I have nothing but great things to say about this person, man. Come on in, Purple Haze. What's going on? How you doing, man?
Good. I don't know about blowing up, but y'all are all great people. So thank you for having me on the show.
For sure, man. And then the next guest we're gonna pull on, man. Now I know her husband more than I know her. And she's actually been on the show, her and her husband together, and they're wonderful people, man. I have so much respect for her husband. He's a great guy. He's a brother. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy to me. Very nice, very polite. I can't even imagine this man being upset. So for him to just say, hey, man, I reached out to him and said, yeah, man, my wife come on, she'd love to be on the show, yada, yada. I'm so grateful of that, you know what I'm saying, because we get to experience his better half to the world, you know what I'm saying, and see all the great things that he's seeing her, you know. So we're going to bring her to the stage as well. This is Miss Hannah Ruditz. What's going on, man?
Hi.
It's good. So we are here in the here and now, man. How do y'all feel, man? Y'all are like strong women in America, man. Well, for you, Hannah,
Canada.
in Canada, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I should say in the world, because
Yeah.
it's been a long history of women couldn't do certain things in the world, and that was all over the world. You know, they were mistreated, told that they couldn't do certain things, and told that men can do certain things better than women. And out of the Woodsworths, man, we just had women just flooding the gates, proving all those things wrong and being a part of this society, and a great part. Not saying that one side is better than the other, but really proving that it's a joint, what I'm saying, development. And you shouldn't, downgrade one side and think that the other side is better, what I'm saying, compared to men and women. So, dude, I commend all you ladies out there, the ones on the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all for coming on the show to share some of your personal opinions on the questions we have today. And dude, let's get it cracking, man. Let's get it cracking. Lena, I'm glad that you're gonna be involved with this because this is your month as well, Lena. This is today is your episode as well, man. We're gonna definitely shine a light on you ladies here today. So, first question on the table, I want to ask, what are some of the things that you guys would change in the world today? Anyone want to go first? It don't matter. We'll just go. Anybody want Lena?
Um, Anything that we would that we would change.
Anything that you want to change in the world, what would it be?
I would. That is a very good question. Because I feel like a lot of things have evolved pretty well, but there are still some more things that could change.
And what do you think? What do you think? So, what do you think could change in the world that you would like to change?
Um, I mean, if I could, I would make it equal in every country, because there are still some countries where women still don't have rights. So I
Hmm.
would like to help and push to try to make changes over there as well, so that those women can feel the freedom that we feel now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What about you, Purple Haze? Same question.
Yeah, I think as it pertains to Women's History Month, I think just building off of what Lena said, I think there's a lot of countries where it's almost outlawed to be a woman for the most part, to just live in the societies. And so I think not just I think there's one thing about having rights, but there's another to actually have respect. And so if I could, it would just be for, the world, and this is for women too. This isn't like it's just men, but the world just to respect women at the same level that they respect men.
Mm, yeah, man. What about you, Hannah? What you
I
got for
guess
us?
just having a society that makes it easier to be a woman, whether that's pay disparity, whether that's affordable childcare, whether that's healthcare, whatever it may be, just having a societal structure that makes it easier to be a woman and just to have a more equal society.
Mm,
Mm. Dude, I remember when I was younger, you play games and people choose who's going to be on who team, regardless of what game
Yeah.
you're playing. And I've been in a few situations where so I was definitely not the sports type or anything like that. I was slow and everything. So
Mhm.
I'll probably be the last person being picked and end up on a team for the females. And dude, we with strategy, we'll beat them sometime, depending on what game we're doing. Um,
mm,
and I was like, man, I'm definitely not the fastest, or at the time the fastest or the strongest or anything. It could be anything to tug of war. You know what I'm saying? We used to play tug of war, and I have nothing but ladies on my team, and what I'm saying, you're like, man, they're weak and yada yada, but prove them wrong with strategy, man. If you don't know the strategy of tug of war, you'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? There's ways you can win, even if you have the weakest players. So back to the subject at hand. My next question is, what are some of the things that, as a woman, you had to overcome in this world, and how did you overcome them? So it's a double question. So, what are
mm.
some of the things that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome those things?
What are some things you said? What are some things you over
Had to overcome.
overcome? Okay.
Hmm. As a
Um.
woman.
Well, when I think about how old I am, I'm like, what have I had to?
Dude, you
Um.
like 67 years old. I know you lived a long life.
I'm only about to be 26. Calm down. Um. I have to really think about that.
Okay.
It's
Anybody
never
else have
coming
an
to the
answer
top of
right
my head
now?
right now.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, I think there's a, we speak about women's achievements. And for me, it's overcoming that. A lot of times those achievements come at a discount in the perception of others. And so what I mean by that is like, for example, I was a veteran. I spent 12 years of my career as a veteran deployed to, numerous places, still maintain my rank, and a lot of times when I'm with other veterans or if I'm going to a job, they're like, yeah, but you're not like a veteran. Or they'll say
Mm.
something to the effect of like, yeah, but you didn't actually do like you didn't actually deploy or you didn't
Hmm.
actually sacrifice like there's like already this and this goes for sports as well. So for a lot of some people know like I was actually a fairly um I
So let
don't
me
know,
ask you this
yeah.
to be clear for myself and everybody out there. When they made the statement that you're not really like a veteran, what are they actually saying? Like what do they mean by that?
Well, there's this perception that I don't actually know. I usually push back, but there's this perception of what it means to like deploy and what it
Hmm.
means to be in the army or to be in the military period and what you're doing. And that there's still this idea that women aren't maybe at the front lines or aren't doing what most of the guys are doing. So I don't know if it's
Hmm.
that they're valuing their experience more or discounting my experience,
Right.
but it's this kind of constant game going on, and it's similar to like something that Hannah mentioned, the gender pay gap or gender pay discrepancy. Like if you
Hmm.
have a woman who says she has a kid, right, versus a man who has a kid, the man gets actually more benefits, like not from a HR perspective, but he'll get seen as like, oh, you're more responsible. He'll like if he says, hey, I'm taking off to take care of the kid, he gets seen as though he's somewhat and this is documented, right? You can like
Hmm.
there's clearly have shown this
They get
in
more
many different
praise
studies.
for being a dad.
Right. As it's like a woman, sometimes it'll be like, oh, well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Actually, it starts to become like you get judged if you're not
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
nurturing. That's where if a guy just shows one hint of nurture, like one statement, it'll be like, oh my gosh, he's a great leader. A woman does it a lot of times. It's like, oh, you're kind of a liability. So I think that this like kind of goes across not just from like a pay structure, but just basically any type of achievement or anything to overcome. A lot of times it's discounted in women. That's where it's celebrated in men.
Mm. And how did you get overcome that? Being in the military and being faced with those things being said to you and being treated that way, not equally as a man is in the military. How did you overcome that?
I think it's a lot of to tell you the truth, like to overcome it, you kind of have to two things, right? Set your pride aside and realize that a lot of people aren't doing this from a place of they're not it's not malicious, it's just a place of ignorance, and so just using that opportunity to educate, to figure out where they're coming from with it, and a lot of times they won't even realize it, they
Hmm.
when I will then tell like, hey, this is actually what I did, and it's just unpacking that and educating. So I think that's how I deal with those things.
Okay. What about you, Hannah? You got the Arlena?
Um, um, I don't even know why it didn't click to me, but with my job, when I first started, I was the only girl there, and they all thought I wasn't going to succeed because it was a woman working in an automotive setting. Um,
Hmm.
and here I am almost 2 years later, and I'm still there. And now, my department is mostly ran by women, and there's
Hmm.
only two men still standing. So, I just find it funny how in the beginning I was the only woman, and now there's more of us than they are men, and we're succeeding greatly. So,
So how did you overcome some of those things that they were saying towards you, or I guess
um,
not downgrading?
so they were the things that they would say would try to belittle me, and I knew that I was greater than that, so I would push back with against their comments, and I would prove them wrong. So with a lot of the things that I've done, I've proven them wrong. So yeah.
Hard work. Hey, nothing beats that, man. What about you, Hannah?
For me, it was probably breaking into male-dominated industry, in
Hmm.
cannabis. So part of that for me was like turning that from a disadvantage to an advantage. I was able, I think, like being a young woman helped me get a lot of press for my company. So it's a disadvantage and an advantage in a way, sort of like a double-edged sword, I would say.
Okay. And how did you overcome those things, like those
Well, like trying to
disadvantages?
use it as an advantage that I was a young woman in a male-dominated industry. That's why I deserve news coverage, or that's what makes me more interesting than some older investor who's going into the cannabis industry.
Nice. I've always said, man, because there was one episode on The Last of Us. I don't know if
Yeah,
y'all saw that show, man, but the one episode on The Last of Us, this lady was giving birth and defending herself at the same time to protect her unborn child and herself. And I was like, man, that shoot, giving birth is enough to me. And you fighting out zombies
mhm.
and giving birth at the same time, dude. I can't compete with that. I can't compete with that, man. There's nothing I can do in the zombie
Yeah,
apocalyptic world that I can compete with that. I mean, shoot, me running in a horde full of zombies, I'm down after I kill five of them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm gonna set my bar up to killing five. You know, but that to me that is amazing. And even in the real world, even though there's not zombies, but I feel like there's been stories that women has, like, let's say that their water broke at a
yeah,
unbelievable place, and they still manage to get themselves to the hospital and deliver that baby, and the baby healthy. I mean, you could be like, I don't know, at a store, you know what I'm saying, and then your water break, and you don't have time to wait. From what I'm understanding, sometimes those contractions just come and they just painful. You just gotta go. So women that's like, hey, I'm gonna take myself to the hospital. I don't have time to wait, and we finna get there, and we're gonna deliver this baby. Or even um held off and delivered the baby right where they were because it was gonna take too long for the paramedics to be there. So I just, man, big kudos, dude. Big kudos, because to me, I think at that moment a woman is putting herself last and putting that baby first to make sure that they have a good pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? Like they just making sure that, hey, I'm gonna make sure that you're getting here, and I don't care what happens to me. I'm just making sure that you are delivered safely. You're gonna be with good care. You know what I'm saying? So kudos, man, to women on that, man. I don't think no guy can ever top that ever in their life. You know. We lost Lena. I'm gonna try to remember her question that she had for you guys. I know one on was, let's see, how did she phrase it? How do you guys keep going as a woman based on some of the things that women has had to overcome in the past? Because now we in the world. I think do y'all remember how she phrased it?
Yeah, it's it was like, how do you, what basically what gives you your drive to
What
achieve,
gives you your drive to keep
to
going?
or to continue to succeed in areas that maybe traditionally weren't open to women, something
Mm-hmm.
to this
Mm-hmm.
effect or this nature. And what I would say is, like, I don't even like think of it like that necessarily. Maybe that's bad on me, but I what I would say is that anytime I like sit back and think like, oh, and it doesn't have to be a woman. Like, I sit at an intersection of a couple of different identities, and um, it's just that when you sit back and think like, oh, this may have not been open to me because I'm a woman or a person of color, or any, you know, any number of things I could throw out there. Um, I think it's just that, like, there were a lot of people who did not get opportunities, the same opportunity, right? And I'm here
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of those people maybe pushed the ball a little bit forward, pushed the pendulum of some form of equity or equality. I know those are both charged terms right now, but pushed it forward. And so just continuing to do right by them, I think, is what, when I reflect on it from that lens, is what I go back to.
Yeah, you strike me as a woman that you're finna just go in and get it done, regardless of what the situation is. You, from what I've gathered from talking to you, Purple, you just seem like you finna just go in and get it done. Hey, it gotta get done anyway. You finna go in there and get it done. It gotta happen. So we pushing away all these excuses. I'm finna get it done. You know, correct me if I'm wrong.
I try. I try.
Man, what you think, Hannah? What are some things that drives you to keep you going, man?
I think of like how far we come, but yet still have to come. Like things like making some states are requiring posting job salaries, even just to
Mm,
require that transparency. And it's not everywhere, but those laws I think will become more common, or states like New York or California, or those big employers, I think, are leaning towards it. But there's still so much more to do in just about how things have even changed over our lifetime with like gay marriage, or in Canada, marijuana legalization, or just there's still so much more to do. But seeing some things change is positive.
mm. So, man, I'm so happy that you guys came on the show, man. I want y'all to keep on thriving and keep on knocking down those walls that may have been put up to hold you back. Just keep on going for it, man. We know that in this world, and this is not only just for women, but we know that for a fact that it's not biased to anyone now. I mean, you got so many things that's against different cultures or different type of people or different genders or different identities. Like we're all about this stuff as a whole in this world. So hopefully one day we just come together and say, hey, it doesn't even matter. If you're a person and you want to get this done, come on. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. Come on. I don't care. I don't care if you're green. Come on, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that this video reached out to people and opened up somebody's eyes and they may have different opinions on it. And think with your heart and give people a chance, man. That's all we're saying. Just give people a chance, and you'll find greatness in people, regardless of who they are. You know. Any last words y'all want to say? Anything before we go?
Thanks for having me, and thanks for doing this, and participating, Women's History Month and so forth. I think women have come a long way, but there's a lot of things that we can still do as a society, not only in our society but other societies, to continue to advocate.
For sure. What about you, Hannah?
I just want to say thank you for having me as well.
Nice, man. Hey, shout out to Roots again. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother, for having your wife on my show, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Purple. Thank you, chat. Thank you for all you guys that showed up and show love to this video and like, subscribe, give your comments, yada yada, all that jazz. You know what I'm saying? We got Lena coming back Lena, do you have any last words
Sorry,
before we
guys.
go?
I'm so sorry. Like literally, my best friend called because the car fell, and like we had to go help him, like kind of get it back up.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
It's
yeah.
cool. What you
I'm
got for
sorry,
us?
guys.
Any last words?
Well, can I just ask the one question that is really
Yeah,
important for like this?
go for it.
Which is what does National Women's History Month? What does it mean to you guys as women? What does National Women's History Month mean to you?
Yeah. I'll give it to, I've been going for it. I'll give it, let Hannah go first this time.
Fair enough. Fair
Hannah,
enough.
you've been tagged in, Hannah.
Now, I think about not only women in North America, but women all over the world and the issues we face, and even the new issues that are arising as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think of, just think about the history of women and so many great women who are well known, but a lot of women who are not, in what they've had to overcome to be where we're at, but also to think about those things that still need to be that we can still advocate for again, like I mentioned before. So pay equity is a big one for me, as well as just Cloudy B mentioned certain benefits that the government can do. So just thinking about that may have a disproportionate impact on women.
For sure, man. Well, look, this has been a great show, guys. Look out for part 2 of Women Appreciation we're gonna have this week. One of our guests wasn't able to make it today, so we're gonna set time for her next week and have a great conversation with her, man. Until next time, man, I want y'all to free my grandma out there. Peace.
My timeline,
She watch,
on my Instagram,
blowing kiss,
all on my Twitter page.
retweet, duck face on me,
She on her timeline,
she lurk,
on her Instagram,
taking pics,
all on her Twitter
them pretty
page.
lips, duck face on me,
She on my timeline,
she
my
watch,
timeline, my Instagram,
blowing
my
kiss,
Instagram, my Twitter page, my Twitter page.
retweet, duck face on me,
Her timeline, her Instagram, her Instagram, her Twitter page, her Twitter page.
duck face on me,
My timeline, my timeline, my Instagram, my Twitter page, my Twitter page.
duck face on me.